What's going on, guys? My name is Derek. Welcome to my channel, Euro Superbike Life. Today we're talking about my i2M Chrome Pro 2 display and how to add circuits. Welcome back, guys. So before we get into this, I want to let you guys know that number one, I am not employed by i2M. They didn't ask me to do this video. They're not sponsoring this video. In fact, I'm not an i2M Chrome professional, know-it-all in any way, shape, or form. I always suggest that you guys take what I say with a grain of salt, go in and do your own research, and proceed from there. The things that I show you here on my videos are just how I know how to go about doing them. Not the best way, not necessarily the right way, just how I know to do them, and they've worked for me over a number of years. Now, I've only owned my Chrome Pro 2 a few months. All of those have been winter months, so I haven't actually had the opportunity to get this bike in the Chrome out on a racetrack and see what it can do and see the things I like or don't like and analyze data. It's been sitting over here and basically in my basement all winter, but I have figured out how to do a few things. Again, maybe not the best way, but they work for me. So a number of you have reached out via email or Instagram and said, you know, can you share your US file track list? So how do I add tracks in Chrome and so forth? So I figured I'd do a video and share that information with you. So there are basically two ways to add circuits to your Chrome unit. The first is on the Chrome unit directly itself. There are benefits and drawbacks to doing that. And then there is adding circuits in the Danis software, which comes with your Chrome unit, and then uploading to your Chrome unit from Danis software. Again, there are drawbacks and benefits of doing it that way. We'll go through both of those, sort of. What I mean by sort of is the Chrome Pro 2 unit, the unit and the bike need to be at the track where you're adding. So it uses GPS, so if you want to add a particular track directly on that unit, you need to be at that track. Obviously, I'm here in my basement, so I'm not going to be able to go through the entire process, but I'll walk you through what I can. The other way is through the Danis software. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not Italian. I don't know if Danis is Italian, D-A-N-A-S. Whatever. It's the Danis software that comes with the Chrome Pro 2 unit that you can download from the i2M website. Allows you to analyze data that you pull off of your Chrome unit, whether it be your track speed, bike temperature, tire temperatures, how you're going into a corner, how you're exiting a corner, whether you're going too fast, too slow. Allows you to analyze all the data and make improvements and changes and things of that nature. We'll go through both. We'll start on the Chrome unit, then we'll come back here to my desk and I'll do a screen capture of the Danis unit and I'll walk you through how to do that. All right, guys, we're over here at my track S1000RR. We're looking at my Chrome Pro 2 unit. So in order to add a track, a brand new track directly to your Chrome unit, the bike has to be at the new track. So if I wanted to add, let's say, Canaan Motorsports Park track to my track list, I would need to be at the track right now in order to do this. Can't do it from your garage because it needs a GPS coordinate. So you have to be at the track. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our Chrome unit. I always love how this thing starts up. Like something out of Star Wars. Okay, so using the two buttons on the side, upper button, lower, we're going to first get back to our other screen. So we quick press, long press the upper button. Now we're here. Now we're going to quick press the lower button to get to the menu unit. Now, so here is our menu. Now, before we start to add our track, what I want to tell you is that your Chrome unit can hold exactly 20 tracks. It doesn't hold 19, doesn't hold 21. It only holds exactly 20 tracks. So if we're going to add a brand new track to this, the only thing we can do is copy over an existing track. Now you might be saying, then I'm going to lose that track. No, not necessarily. If you copy over one of the tracks that's part of the Danis default list, then it's always in your Danis software and it's not going anywhere. What we need to do is we need to get your brand new track into your Chrome unit and then later, once we download all the data from our Chrome unit, we want to analyze it, we'll also download that track and put it in Danis, and we'll have it forever. But right now, what we need to do first is we need to select the track that we're going to overwrite. So to do that, we go into Chrome Meter, and again, we have our upper buttons to move up and down. So we're going to select Chrome, and then once we find the one that we want to be on, we long press the bottom button. So we long press here on Chrome, brings us to our next menu. So we go down to Select Circuit, because again, we have to tell the Chrome unit which circuit we're going to overwrite. And the way to do that is we need to upload one of our tracks. So we select Circuit, long press the bottom button. Okay, things are going to get really dark here for a second because this screen is all white, and I have to really change the camera settings in order for you guys to see it. But you can see here that we have our tracks here. So we have Barber, Blackhawk, Button, Canaan, Clockwise, and Willow. So we need to select which track we're going to overwrite. So I'm going to go back up to the top and select Blackhawk. I'm going to highlight Blackhawk, and then I'm long press, and it's going to load that track. So it says loaded. So now I can long press the upper button to go back to the previous screen. Now we need to go down to circuit details. I'll go down one and then long press the bottom button. And here's the information for our Blackhawk track. And now we just simply start overwriting it. So the first thing you would want to do is you want to remove the map. As you see, the arrow is already on remove map. So we long press the bottom button, and you'll get a pop-up that says remove circuit map ? Press down to confirm or up to cancel. So right now I'm going to cancel, but if you were overriding this track, you would go ahead and you'd press down to confirm. And you would remove the map for that track because obviously we're at a new track, we don't want that one. Then we would go down to name, and we'd long press the bottom button to update name, and we'd give it a new name. We'd get rid of Blackhawk and we'd give it a new name. Then we go down to update finish line position, and here are some options in here. So let's long press the bottom button, and it'll highlight available. So your options in here are available, auto, map, update, and not available. So not available is self-explanatory. And then update. Update is probably the one that you don't want to use the most. Now, how update works is once you set this to update, while you're riding around on the track, once you get to the start-finish line, you're expected to hit one of these buttons to set the start-finish line. Now, you can probably get away with that in the C group. You're riding or moving slowly enough, but if you're in B, A, and definitely the expert group, that is just not going to fly. You're not going to be moving slow enough to hit the button where the start-finish line is. If you're not worried about it being super accurate, you can probably do that. But remember, your start-finish line is most likely on a straightaway. You're probably doing better than 100 miles an hour, and then trying to hit the button right where the start-finish line is and doing something other than paying attention to the track is probably not a good idea. So I would go ahead and select auto, and then you would long press the top button to lock in the auto position. Now, how auto works is as you're riding around the track, your Chrome will sense when you exceed 150 kilometers per hour, which is 93 miles per hour. When it does that, it says, oh, he's on the front straight or a long straight. I'm going to set the start-finish line right here. And it marks the start-finish line, the GPS coordinates for that location as soon as you exceed 150 kilometers per hour or 93 miles per hour. Now, if you're in C group or just starting out on a small, tight track and you never exceed that speed limit, that mile per hour or kilometer per hour, then the start-finish line will never get set, and as soon as you turn the bike off, your changes will be lost. So you'll need to make sure that you're at a circuit or you're fast enough where you can exceed that speed limit, I keep saying speed limit, where you can exceed that mile per hour or kilometer per hour to set your start-finish line. And then that is it. That's how you add a track directly to your Chrome unit. Now we can just long press the upper button to come all the way out. And we go all the way out here. And you can see down on the bottom, it says circuit, and it says greater than 150 miles per hour. So right now it's waiting for this bike to travel faster than 150 kilometers per hour, excuse me. It's waiting for this bike to travel faster than 150 kilometers per hour so that it can set a start-finish line for the track that I just selected. That is how you add a track directly to your Chrome unit. So now let's head back into my office and I'll show you how we do this in the Danis software. Okay guys, so we're back over here at my desk. I'm going to do a screen share and I'll walk you through how to add a track in the Danis software. I think I've already done a video where I upload to a USB flash drive and then I take that over and update the Danis. If not, I'll probably do another video of that later, but I'm going to show you how to add tracks to your Danis software, and then after it's in Danis, then you can just put it on here in your flash drive or connect to your Chrome via Wi-Fi or a USB cable. We'll talk about all of those ways here in this video, and you can upload tracks via that way, but you have to at least create the tracks first, either directly on Chrome or in Danis. So we've already gone through how to create them directly on Chrome. Now let's go into the software and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and pre-opened the software. You can see that I'm using the software up here, which version it is, 1.16. You have some file menu options and then you have a number of icons. We are not going to go over all of that here in this video, just how to add circuits to the Danis software. Okay, that's all I'm doing here today. There's a lot in here that I still need to learn that I don't know about. In fact, I probably understand 1 or less than 1% of everything that's going on in here. So I'm probably not the very best person to show you how to use this software anyway. Nevertheless, I am going to show you how to add a circuit in here. Again, of the two processes for adding tracks, probably directly onto your i2M Chrome is probably the easiest of the two ways. I wouldn't say either of them are easy, but it's easier to add it directly to the Chrome Pro 2 or Chrome, whichever version you have. And here is probably the most difficult. And the reason it's the most difficult is because it requires some third-party intervention, we'll call it. So let's go through this. So in order to add a track, you click on the map option up here at the top of the screen. You scroll down to where it says Modify, Create, Finish Line. And you'll click on that and you'll get a pop-up window. Now, before we go any further, your Danis software doesn't care about the geographical location and layout of the track itself, the entire track. What it cares about is the start-finish line. That's what it wants to geotag. That's what it wants coordinates for, your start-finish line. And it wants to know of which direction you're crossing the start-finish line, meaning are you running the track in a clockwise configuration or a counterclockwise configuration? And it uses an arrow and so forth to point to say, I'm traveling the track in this direction. Some tracks, like Laguna Seca, are only designed to run in one direction. That's it. Other tracks are designed to run in multiple directions. And I will say that if you frequent a track that is designed to run in multiple directions and you run that track in both directions, then you'll need to add two versions of that track to the Danis software or to your Chrome unit. One where you can identify as clockwise, the other where you can identify as counterclockwise. Just an FYI. So let's take a look at this pop-up here. Over here on the left, you have a default list of all the tracks that Danis currently has. Now, I wouldn't say there are hundreds of tracks. There are dozens of tracks. And they're very heavily European influenced. So i2M is an Italian company, obviously European. This Chrome unit is a lot more popular across in Europe than it is in US. So there are a lot more European tracks by default in your default list here. There are not a lot of US tracks, and the tracks that they select by default don't often make a lot of sense. For example, they have Barber Motorsports Park here, which you can see. I've already mentioned Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca is in here. But tracks like New Jersey Motorsports Park are not. Tracks like Circuit of the Americas, not in here. VIR, not in here. But other tracks are, like Chuck Walla, both configurations. So we can scroll up here to Chuck Walla and we can see Chuck CW, which stands for clockwise, and we have Chuck CCW, counterclockwise. That's what I was talking about. If you can run the track in both reverse and forward configurations or both directions, you'll need to add the tracks in here twice. And you'll see that a lot of them are only in here once because they're only designed to run the configuration one direction. The way to add them is like this. So I mentioned you have your track list here on the left-hand side. In the middle is the track information, and then on the right there is, or should be, a Google Maps image of the track. Now, why isn't there a Google Maps image? Why is there just a big circle that says start with an arrow? The arrow represents the direction of the track that it's traveling on. Now, I don't have a graphical representation of that track for a number of reasons. And this is where I think i2M cheesed out a little bit here, if you will. So when you purchased your i2M Chrome unit, it came with this Danis software, or they made this Danis software available to you where you can download. What i2M should have done is they should have purchased a redistributable license of a Google API or Google Maps API. That way we won't have to do what I'm about to talk to you about. They decided not to do that. They didn't want to incur that cost probably, or I don't know, we're just lazy. I really don't understand, don't know why. Nevertheless, what we have to do to get a Google Map up here is we have to acquire a Google Maps API key. Sounds simple enough. We go and get an API key. We drop the API key where we need to do it, and the map displays, right? Not exactly. So let me show you really quick. So if you click on Maps and you go to Change API Key, there's a box where we need to drop our API key. You put it in here, you click Save, and then the maps will start showing up. Seems simple enough. However, the process of creating Google Maps API key is not simple, to say the least. So if I click on Maps and I go back to Change Map API Key, I'm not going to go through this process. If you guys want to see me or want information on how to create an API key and want me to do a video on that, leave a comment in the description of this video below and I'll be happy to do that. But if you click this link, you will get instructions on how to create your API key. And very quickly, what that entails is you setting up an account, you providing a credit card, you creating a project. And once you've done those three things, then you can create your API key. I created my first API key back in September. And what I found out is that your project, your account, and your API keys do expire. I don't know how long they're good for. I don't know if it's because of inactivity. The first time I did this, I created the account. I did everything I was supposed to. And then a few days while I was preparing for this video, I went to do it again, and it said that my account has expired, my API key has expired, and I need to renew them. It's simple to renew those things and create. It's really, once you've created one API key, it's simple to create others. Now, why do you need a credit card? Well, if you distribute this, or if you have high use, and don't quote me on that, I don't know what high use qualifies as, but if you exceed some threshold, then Google will bill you for it. Now, we're just acquiring static maps just so we can look in Danis. And again, I've been doing this for several months now. I've created several API keys. I've never once been charged at all. So clearly I'm not exceeding any type of threshold that Google has created for us. So don't worry about that. It's purely for creating your account. And if you're a developer and you plan on distributing your software, that's really what it's for. And to be perfectly honest with you, the process of creating this API key, this is a developer level task. It's really not meant for the consumer, which is why I'm a little bit disappointed in i2M that they make their consumers do this. This is a developer level task that they should have done and just charged us a little bit more for the Danis software, or just built that into the Chrome Pro 2 unit or your Chrome unit. That way we wouldn't have to go through this aggravation. So let's assume that you have your API key. I'm going to grab my API key And I'm going to blur this out so that you guys don't steal my API key. But once you have your API key, you come in here, you click Maps, you go to Change API Key, and you simply paste it in here and click Save. That's it. Now we can go to Maps, go back down to Modify Create Finish Line, and you will see that our graphical representation of a track shows up here. Now, I have a track called AAA Test that I was testing with here. It just happens to be Road Atlanta. And again, you can see the information related to the track Road Atlanta, as well as the graphical representation. Now there are some controls down here. This allows you to move the track around. So if I click this, then I can drag this around. It'll refresh. I can drag it around a little bit more, so forth. You click the plus and then click on the track again, and you can zoom in. You click minus and you can zoom out, okay? It's as simple as that. This flag allows you to move this circle with the start on it that identifies the start finish line. You'll notice the arrow here. The arrow designates the way that we are traveling the track. So this is Road Atlanta. If you're not familiar with Road Atlanta, it was designed to be traveled in one direction. So the information up here, we have the name of the track, can be anything you want. There is a limit on characters. I think it's about 8 characters, but don't quote me on that. I don't believe you can have any spaces or special characters. So try to keep it as short as possible. Then you have this information here, traguardo. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's Italian for finish line. I don't speak Italian, and I only know that because I dropped that in Google Translate and it told me what it meant. So traguardo. I can't roll my R's very well, but that's Italian for finish line. And then you have your latitude, then a direction, your longitude, a direction, and then your direction on which controls the arrow, which shows us which way on the track we're traveling. Then you have this information down here, minute.time. Don't exactly know what that's for. Haven't figured that out yet. If you know, leave a comment in this in the comment section of this video. And then you have a little blurb down here at the bottom. Basically, it says that you can save a track without this directional information, but it won't show up and you won't be able to upload it into your Chrome unit. And I'll show you exactly what that means in a minute. So this information is required. Okay. So now, how do we add a track? We have our API key. We can see our track. How do we add it? It's pretty simple. So we click the plus sign. We'll get a generic Nuovo name. Nuovo is Italian for new. Again, Google Translate. It's awesome. So we can call this whatever we want. Let's call this Road ATL. And now we have to put in our latitude in a direction and our longitude in direction. You can see that we have, it appears to be a decimal coordinates. Now, if you don't know, and I don't claim to be the best person on GPS coordinates, but I do know the format is typically degrees, minutes, seconds, direction. So for example, if you were going to give a direction to somebody using that format, it would be something like 42 degrees, 13 minutes, 36 seconds north by 22 degrees, 45 minutes, 18 seconds west, for example. However, that's not what this accepts. This looks like it's accepting a decimal GPS coordinate, which is typically degrees, dot, minute, seconds format. There's a formula where you can convert your degrees to minutes and seconds. However, this isn't quite like that. So if you know what format or formula this is for latitude and longitude, please again leave a comment, let me know. I did reach out to i2M's support. They were not very helpful in telling me what this format was. So if you just pop in decimal degrees, you won't get an exact hit of where you think you're supposed to be. And certainly if you put in degrees, minutes, seconds, you won't get anywhere near where you're supposed to be. But let's assume for a second you know the information of the track. We're doing Road Atlanta. I happen to have the appropriate coordinates that this software is looking for. So we're going to fudge it a little bit, and we'll unfudge it later, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what you do is we plug in. So I have the exact coordinates here. So basically you plug those in, and it does happen to be north, so I won't change that. And then we have this value for longitude, but it happens to be west, so we'll click that, and there you go. Google went out, or the Danis software went out and said, I can find those coordinates. Here is the track. And those coordinates that we gave are for the start-finish line. So now we can zoom in on that, and we can see the start is not exactly on the start-finish line. It's actually a little bit to the left. So what we can do to focus that in is that we can go over here and we can click on our red flag. It's for add position. And then we can put our cursor right exactly where we want it. Now, when we do this, it's going to attempt to repaint this, and sometimes it loses where it is and we have to refocus it. So FYI, if it jumps all over the place, that's why. But right about here is where I want it. So I click on that, and there it did actually a pretty good job of recentering. So now we can zoom back in this, and you can see start is right on the track, right on the start finish line. And you can see that it has updated our latitude and longitude coordinates automatically for us. Now you see directions is a big red box. That's an indication that we need to do something here. You notice there's no arrow. We're not telling it right now that we're traveling in any direction, and we need to do that. So we need to put values in here. And again, you can put any values in here from 0 to 360. And like I said, it will accept negative values. So you can use those at your own risk. So let's put in 180 and let's see what it does. So put in 180, we'll hit enter. And you can see that the arrow is not pointing anywhere near the right way. So what we can do is, if we don't exactly know what that direction is, we can continue updating the values in here until it's pointing the way we want it. So let's add 300, not quite there. 310, getting there. 320, close, but not quite. 330. 330 is good. We could probably get away with 325 maybe. 325 looks like it's spot on. So we could use 325. Now that we have our coordinates for our start finish line and we have the direction arrow on there, the only thing we need to do now is go over here and click our save icon. And we'll get a pop-up message that says circuits correctly saved. We'll click save and OK. So now if we close this and then come back in, they're in alphabetical order, so we could scroll down to the R's, and you can see Road Atlanta. You can see I also added it earlier as I was setting up for this. After you've added your track here in Danis, there's a process where you can upload to this guy, little USB flash drive, and we'll talk about ways that you can connect to your Chrome in here just a second. But you can basically upload your 20 files or your 20 tracks to this unit, bring it over to your Chrome, plug it into the USB port, and then go to the area where it says upload tracks, and boom, your tracks are all on your Chrome unit. Real quickly, if you come over here to online, you go down to configure Chrome circuits, you'll get a pop-up that says this. Some circuits don't have the directions setted. They will not be charged. Kind of weird wording there for English. Clearly English is not the first language. But what I get out of that is that if you've saved any tracks without that arrow, without that direction, they're not going to populate in the list that I'm about to click on and show you. So let's click OK. And then you have a list over here. And this list will only contain circuits that have that arrow. Plain and simple. So add the arrow. You need the arrow if you plan on uploading your circuits or your tracks to your Chrome unit. Then basically you have list over here on the left, that's what's in Danis, and then the list over here on the right is what you want to upload to Chrome. You basically just select what you want, click the plus, select what you want, click the plus. You click something that you don't want, select it, click minus. It's as simple as that. Once you have 20 in here, you can say export to this guy, or you can come up here to this icon on the right, and this is a Wi-Fi transfer to Chrome. So you can connect to your Chrome via 3 ways. 1, this USB file. 2, via Wi-Fi, and the third way is via a USB cable that requires FTDI drivers. My particular laptop has never worked well with those FTDI USB drivers. I don't like that way because there's a big red warning, or maybe it's not red, but there's a big warning in the manual for Danis that says don't just connect any USB cable to your Chrome unit because you can damage the Chrome unit, your software, and other things. And I don't want that to happen. Your Chrome unit is an expensive unit, and the easiest way to get data to it and from it is with this guy. I've tried the Wi-Fi way before. Didn't always connect, and my results weren't always what I expected. And like I said, I'm not trying the USB cable route. You're free to do that. There are FTDI drivers on the website. I'll show you where they are. You can download all that information and try it yourself. I'm not doing it. This is easy enough for me. So get yourself one of these. They're really cheap, and the only caveat for this is that it has to have one partition. A lot of SanDisk USB drives have 2. There's one partition where they keep all the system information and another where you can upload to. Your USB flash drive has to have one partition, nothing else on it. So just keep that in mind. So that is it for this video, guys. We can wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the views. Again, click that subscribe button, click the bell, that's so that you can get updates for all of my upcoming videos. Check out my Patreon page, link on the screen right now. Anything you can contribute to the Patreon page would be awesome. It helps the channel, helps me bring you more great content and things going forward. So you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, smash it if you're into that kind of thing. But until next time, guys, take care.